I think it was just a natural progression, of the franchise. My place within, that world, knowing the character so well, knowing the story, and kind of having a vision and ideas of where I wanted the story to go. I felt like I was the perfect person to kind of step in and do it. And the acting, directing bit. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but the most challenging, and it was a transformative experience, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
It was incredible. He's so good. I think, I would say that he's a natural director, except that I think he's, been working as an actor for such a long time that he's learned so much through that kind of practical experience. And I think he brought that to the project. And obviously, he knows this world so well and knows the world and Creed so well. He's kind of the only person I think that could do this sort of new installment of the franchise with as much heart and skin in the game, literally,
Alongside the kind of boxing story that we all know and love, there's an important plot line about, coming back into the world after incarceration, underprivileged childhoods, treatment of black youth in America. What did you both find interesting and important about exploring this plot line?
Well, Will you say that phrase again? Black youth. What was it?
Yeah, it's just like the treatment of black youth in America. I feel like the underprivileged.
No, I really like the question, but I like the phrasing of it. The treatment of black youth in America. I think that's I'm gonna put in my pocket, because I think it's just really nicely stated.
Thank you.
But I think that element, we're that, and we're in adulthood now, but we were a part of, black youth. And I think we are role models for black youth,
yep.
At this point. I've not seen a picture that explores it, kind of in this way. The flashbacks, what you do to that pup, how they turn out, what you do to that young child in adulthood, how they can turn out, and I think is an exploration of that. One goes this way, one goes that way, and Adonis, it depends on who you look at. One is out of the control group, right? In this American experiment, right? In this American trickery, right? That is very interesting, for us to explore and to show. Ultimately, I think our job is to show not just the silver lining, but the true core of hope and ambition within that group of people, group of our people. That was really exciting for me.
And just building off of that, just the childhood trauma that we all kind of share. I think everybody. I think we all have some type of childhood trauma that we have that that affects us. What I'm saying, as we grow up and we grow older. And whether we address that or not, I think it is something that I wanted Adonis to kind of have to deal with. And in the form of that childhood trauma, it was a shared experience between these two characters, and one went that way, the other one went that way. Just because you make a bad decision doesn't make you a completely bad person. That was really important, Damien coming out of the prison system, fighting for his life, literally. It doesn't make, that's why it was important to not have Damien be, just an evil mustache twirling, villain that you didn't understand and didn't have any empathy for, because there's reasons why he is the way that he is. And then also have Adonis, nature versus nurture in a lot of different ways. Right. Those are all things that, it's layered and very complex. So I felt lucky to be able to touch on a lot of those things without making, either one of them the focus of the entire film. So that was a luxury that we have. And like you said, as black role models that we are today, being used to being, we were your black youth. But now being, as adults, setting those examples and having a movie that can represent all of those things and in a way that sparks conversation and healthy debate, and that's the lucky part of being a filmmaker, and being a director and having an opportunity to talk about that vision.
One day you came back. The past came back too.
I love it. I just love playing this character so much, and I think sort of what she's wrestling with, it's this idea of like, who are you outside of what you do, because her career has sort of shifted. And I think a lot of folks can relate to that, especially post-pandemic. I think we all went through a period of kind of like, what am I outside of what I do in the world? being a parent is so fun because we got to work with the incredible Mila, and she's so tremendous in the film and so fearless, and I just feel very proud to have been a part of her debut because I think she's such a singular talent.
He's not gonna stop.
Then you make him. I mean, I think it's hugely important. There's so much conversation around representation and inclusion in film, and I think we really live in a world that's very biased towards the hearing world, and I think being able to unpack that bias, especially in the context of a studio movie and a sports film, is really radical and very rarefied, and to have the chance to do that and have real representation inside of the community is everything, you know?
My brothers been my brothers, man. They no kidding me a fact.
It's incredible. I've been a fan of his from afar. When I first saw him in a film called Last Black Man in San Francisco, I was at Sundance at the time and just thought it was the first time I had seen him in anything and thought he's really a star. He's just really special and such a singular talent. And he brought such incredible depth and complexity, I think, to this antagonist, you know, that really complicates, I think, the fight scenes because you care about him as a character and feel for him as a character. So I think typically when you have these fight scenes, you know who you're rooting for. You're rooting for the title character, but I think in this case it's complicated by the complexity of his performance, and he's just, you know, he's fun to watch. I get to watch those performances from being ringside, so it was a pleasure to get to watch him.